Hello, I hope this video finds you well. Today I'm going to be discussing the function of social media as an institution and its effect on mental health. Social media use is prevalent among young adults today, and the rate has increased pretty dramatically. In 2005, it was reported that 15% of young adults use social media, and in 2015, that number is now 90%. So well over the majority of young adults are using social media. And not only that, they're also using multiple social media platforms on a daily basis. It's reported that they do use social media on a daily basis. So that's indicating that social media use is very prevalent. And I wanted to kind of examine some of the implications of social media use on our mental health. And so social media is a great tool for connecting, and it's a great social tool, but there also are some negative aspects to it as well. And so what this research has shown me is that dependent upon how the user uses a social media platform will kind of determine whether or not they have a negative or positive effect. So first I would like to look at how you can use social media and have a positive effect. So when using social media, if you are using it to strengthen previously established relationships, whether it be friends or family, that is going to be a positive thing where you're going to have an increased social and emotional support system. Another positive way to use social media is to seek out pertinent information that's going to be useful to you, connect with other people that share similar interests, and also have the opportunity to seek out other career opportunities. And all of those functions of social media are going to increase feelings of depression. It's going to increase self-esteem, and it's going to increase total life satisfaction. So when social media is used in this capacity, it can be a positive thing, a positive institution that has a positive effect on the user's mental health. Now, that being said, that brings me to my second talking point, in which social media, when used in an incorrect capacity, can have detrimental effects to the user's mental health. And so when I say in incorrect capacity, what I mean by that is that oftentimes individuals will use social media to get in arguments, to vent their frustrations, or to compare themselves to other people's successes or other people's relationships. And studies have shown that when users use social media in that capacity, where they are arguing, venting, or comparing themselves to others, it tends to increase feelings of depression, decrease self-esteem, and also decrease the level of life satisfaction that they are feeling. And so it's clear to see that social media is kind of a double-edged sword, where in one respect it can be a very positive tool that can be useful, but on the other side of it, it can also be a very negative tool that can cause a lot of emotional pain. And not only that, there are also societal implications to using social media in a negative way. So oftentimes hateful speech is used, and social media has had a dehumanizing effect, where I can be sitting behind my computer and posting something anonymously, or having a conversation with somebody anonymously, and I don't see them, and I'm able to kind of just say whatever it is that I want to say, and I can say hurtful, hateful things, and there's not the same level of engagement that occurs when I were to have that conversation face to face. And because of that dehumanizing effect, it has become normalized to display hateful and hurtful language or speech on social media, where it is now the status quo in society. It's no longer deviant behavior to use hateful speech. You can go on social media and you'll see it everywhere. People are very quick to judgment and to condemning others through social media. And we can see how this has a negative societal impact where, there's kind of a deterioration of the value consensus, where what people consider to be values are kind of falling by the wayside. People don't value a productive conversation as much as they once did. And so we can see how, on the micro level, the use of social media in this negative capacity is detrimental to emotional well-being, but it also in turn affects society on a macro level, where what is considered deviant behavior and what is considered valuable or normal is starting to shift as a result of that. And so we really get to see that there's two sides to social media, that it can be a positive socializing tool, but it can also be a negative, deteriorating socializing tool, or have that effect. And the last talking point that I wanted to touch on is cyberbullying, because bullying has been prevalent, for as long as there have been schools, and I want to focus in on college. So undergraduate school, cyberbullying has become a phenomenon where 9 to 30%, and the average was around 15% of undergraduate students have reported that they are victims of cyberbullying. And similar to some of the negative use of social media that I had mentioned before, cyberbullying also causes increased depression for the victim, or decreased self-esteem, and decreased life satisfaction. And on top of that, they also reported that victims of cyberbullying had an increase in maternal anxiety attachment. And all of those factors can also lead to suicidal ideation. And so I think it's really important to take a look at how this phenomenon of cyberbullying that has come about as a result of social media, and I would argue that the dehumanization that social media has caused has also perpetuated this phenomenon, is really a serious matter that needs to be understood, especially by college counselors, so that they can ask the right questions to people that are, in school and coming to them, and so that they can provide the support that these victims need in order to move forward in a more harmonious way. And so that's just a brief overview of what I saw as social media being an institution and the effects that it has on mental health. And in conclusion, we'll go over again that yes, it can have a positive effect on mental health, but it can also have a negative effect on mental health. And it is all dependent upon the capacity to which social media is being used. And we're also able to establish that how social media is used can also have a detrimental effect on societal norms, on deviant behavior, on value consensus,